Oh my goodness. We gotta deal with parents that are managers now. Now I'm gonna say this right here. Now, I usually keep quiet about what I usually say. You keep quiet. I be like, well, I'm a boxing fan. I pay my money to see good fights and stuff like that. And I put it like this. If a good, it's like if I'm off that day and it's a good fight, I go ahead and pay money privately to go see the fight or whatever on pay per view or either stream the app or whatever. And if it's not a good fight, I'm not gonna pay for it. I do it. I'll wait till the next day on YouTube and go ahead and watch it. Now the Errol Spence and the Terrence Bud Crawford fight, y'all paid for that. I was like, shit, I was watching this shit on my phone. Like shit, I had that motherfucker like this. Watching that motherfucker in the living room, watching the whole shit. Even when Sean Porter and Errol Spence Jr. fought, I sat there and watched shit on my phone because it's a unification match. Now the Canelo fights, I stopped paying for. I was like, man, ever since I stopped paying for Canelo fights ever since he fought Laurel. When I put around and watched that fight and Laurel actually beat him Laurel was on his bike, he was running, but Canelo was throwing the harder punches. He was throwing the harder punches, but Laurel threw more punches than Canelo. And I seen that damn fight, and I looked at the scorecard. It was like 109 to 99. So I think Canelo had 99 and Laurel had 109. So Laurel was supposed to win on the decision. And then they still gave it to Canelo. I said, nah, I ain't fucking with Canelo no more. That dude, right? I was like, that dude got the judge in his back pocket. That dude, he do what he want to do. I started fucking with him like that. As far as his boxing career, I was like, man, this dude right here, dude, fucking want to do. You know what I'm saying? That dude make the most money. They feel like, well, that nigga, that's how I felt about the motherfucker. So, start watching it. Now, let's get back on the topic here. Now, the topic I want to really talk about is Brian Norman Jr. and Brian Norman Sr. And I want to talk about Boots Ennis and Boza Ennis, which is the Boots Ennis dad. Now, this shit started. All this shit started with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. It started with them. Now, at that time, Boots was coming up, and Brian Norman Jr. was coming up. Now, nobody wasn't even talking about Brian Norman Jr. at that time. Nobody wasn't talking about. The only way that Boots was kind of getting recognized is because Boots was chasing Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence were already on the collision course on who's going to be undisputed in between those two. Errol Spence got 3 belts. Terrence Crawford got that WBO belt. They trying to make the undisputed thing happen. Now, it took them 5 years to finally, to finally give us what we wanted. Fuck around, and the pay-per-views went up to 650 views or whatever like that the case may be. It went well. Anywhere over 600,000 pay-per-view buyers, shit doing pretty good. They took some sting out of it because they should have brought up they should have brought up the backstage interview when they got into it 5 years ago, and motherfucker, I put 100,000 there, let me make $1 million like that. They should have brought that up. They should have brought up, when Errol Spence Jr. was like, well, I ain't worried about him, he shouldn't worry about me, like that or whatever. They should have brought the car crash, and they should have brought up a lot of shit, to build that fight up a little bit more, like when they decide they're gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, they did some stuff, but they kind of took a lot of sting out of it. But that's between here and there. Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence Jr. Stop him in 9 rounds. Stop him in round number 9. Terrence Crawford has all the belts: the WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, and the Ring Magazine. They said, Terrence, what's next for you? Well, what's next for me is I'm going up to 154, and I'm gonna go ahead and fight Errol Spence Jr. from 154 because Errol Spence Jr. already agreed to go up to 154. So we was looking at okay, well they gonna fight at 154. That mean they gonna drop the belts at they gonna drop the belts at welterweight, which is 147. So when they dropped the belts at 147, Boots Ennis was the interim IBL champion. Brian Norman Jr. was fighting for an interim WBO title. You also had Stanley Onis was the regular WBA champion, and then you had Mario Barrios was the interim WBC champion. Those two guys are PBC fighters. Boots Ennis left Showtime, you know what I'm saying, with affiliated with PBC, and went ahead and started fighting for Matchroom, which is Eddie Hearn. So everybody was kind of scratching their head on, damn Jerron, man, you should have stayed on PBC because the PBC got the other 2 champions over there. They got Stanley Onis and they got Mario Barrios. Y'all interim champions right now. So when those about time the belts bust up and they become full champion, you ain't gonna have nowhere to get to these motherfuckers because PBC is not gonna allow them crossing over to your promotional, which is the Zone, to go fight him. Because everybody be having a problem with going to PBC. The PBC fighters going coming over to other platforms to go fight because of the stronghold that Al Hammond and a lot of other motherfuckers in the PBC, Sam Lukowitz, a lot of other motherfuckers that got the PBC, they like, well, you got to fight over here with us for less money to even make the fight. So, and it was kind of a head scratcher. So, when Terrence Crawford relinquished the belts, everybody else went full champion that was interim champion. Mario Barrios became the full WBC champion. Stanley Onis became the full WBA champion. Brian Norman Jr. became the full WBC champion. The full WBO champion. And Boots got elevated to the full IBL champion. So remember, you have 4 champions, but they're email champions because nobody ever not fought Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence Jr. or anybody to get those belts like that. So it's like the lineage is broke. It's like when you the lineal champion, it broke because remember, Terrence is still the lineal champion. So Boots made his bones by chasing Errol and Terrence Crawford because everybody knew that Boots was next in line to fight either one of them. But since Terrence Crawford got rid of the belts, he went to 154 and he got handed the IBF belt. So Eddie Hearn looked at this shit and was like, well, you know what, we can just go ahead and take you and you're going to be our champion because, I don't have a stronghold in the welterweight department because the welterweights the welterweights are busted up between PBC, Matchroom, and the Zone. The PBC, Matchroom, and Top Rank. So my problem is this right here. History repeats itself. Okay. This is how I look at it. Eddie Hearn set out a deal with when Eddie Hearn had Anthony Joshua as heavyweight, right? This 5-6 years ago. This years ago. Eddie Hearn had AJ, which is Anthony Joshua, the heavyweight. He had all 4 belts. Eddie Hearn used to send Deontay Wilder, which is WBC champion at the time in heavyweight division. He sent them so many offers, 15 million, 20 million, all the way up to 100 million, for 2 fights with AJ and a bonus fight, which is a mandatory fight. Deontay Wilder denied the shit. Man, I ain't finna go, man. I want what no, because he was too busy pocket watching. He was too busy making, well, okay, if I make 100 million, what AJ gonna make? And it was like, it's not about AJ, it's about your future. It's about what you gonna make. Because Deontay Wilder made pennies as a champion. He made, he when he was touching M shit. So when he finally touched the M, which is like 1.5 or whatever, like that $1 million, he fought, he started fighting guys like, he started fighting guys like Ortiz and, well, I'm trying to think. Yeah, Luis Ortiz and he started fighting them. So that's when he started making, busting over $1 million. And when he fought around and fought Tyson Fury, he fought Tyson Fury for $4 million. And then the next fight, it was like almost 20, almost. The second fight was a little bit more, like over 20 million. He got his ass whooped twice in that fight. In that the second and third fight, he got his ass whooped. Deontay Wilder have not been the same since he lost the WBC title. Then the same person that he used to fuck with and talk bad about, he started partnering with Eddie Hearn. He talked shit about Eddie for like 5 years, 5-6 years. And then next thing he started going through some shit with his he started going through shit with the baby mama, and then they wanted to partner with Eddie Hearn and talk all the shit and man, what's going on, man, like that or whatever. Now, Eddie Hearn got the last laugh out of that equation. Now, what kind of make me laugh but piss me off at the same time is Brian Norman Sr. Brian Norman Sr. went on the Boxing Voice and said Eddie Hearn gave him 3 offers. He admitted that. The last offer was $107 million. I mean, well, not all. The last offer was $1.7 million. I corrected myself. $1.7 million, damn, that's more money than y'all ever got. To fight. Because, first of all, you guys not really even worth $1 million. You guys really never fought, the top tier talent at welterweight. You guys were given that WBO title. They're like Boots were given the IBF belt. So you guys not really starting until you guys fight each other and the other champions, which is, so you gotta make your bones off the other champions. And Brian Norman Jr. gonna sit there and say, well, $1.7 million not enough after taxes. That leaves us with $800,000. And my son ain't hurt. You guys are trying to negotiate something y'all don't understand. Y'all trying to negotiate off your broke ass couch. So I laughed. That shit was funny as hell to me. But that shit gonna bite them in the ass. Because you guys are a top ranked fighter. Bob Arum is not gonna pay y'all $1.7 million y'all next fight. Y'all not gonna get paid that much money y'all next fight. This was gonna happen. You guys are going to get fed to Teofimo Lopez. You guys are going to get fed to this dude. The reason why I say this is because Teofimo Lopez is the junior welterweight WBO champion. He's the full champion over there. He's the full champion. And Brian Norman Jr. never been tested. Teofimo Lopez got in the ring with Josh Taylor. He got in the ring with Vasily Lomachenko. You know, at 35 and 40. The two biggest names on both sides of the damn field. He may have lost to George Kambosos, but he fought the two top guns on both weight classes. He going up to welterweight. And he's still with Top Rank. And whoever is the WBO champion at one weight class is going to be the number one top contender for the champion at the next weight class. Teofimo Lopez is still WBO champion at 140. Guess who is the 147 champion, the WBO champion? Brian Norman Jr. Since you turned down the Boots Ennis fight to get you elevated for maybe the next fight, so that way y'all can make a little bit more money, you turn shit down. Bob Arum got you on the contract. Y'all on the contract with Bob Arum no matter what the fuck y'all say. So Uncle Bob don't want that favor. You know Uncle Bob do it, and Top Rank do it. Uncle Bob gonna make it up to Teofimo Lopez. Uncle Bob couldn't give him the Terrence Crawford fight. Uncle Bob couldn't get him that you know what I'm saying, that those fights that he really wanted, like the Tank Davis fight, the what's called fight. Uncle Bob couldn't do it. Uncle Bob is going to feed Brian Norman Jr. to Teofimo Lopez Jr. Teofimo Lopez has been tested. Brian Norman Jr. has not been tested. When y'all get your ass whooped and lose that WBO title, y'all ain't gonna be a threat anymore. So, this was going to happen. This was going to happen in the welterweight division. Before Boots get tired and go, and I'm saying relinquish the IBF and go up to 154, he gonna fight. He gonna defeat. He gonna stay in there a little longer. He gonna be like, all right, I ain't gonna relinquish my IBO just yet. I ain't gonna be relinquish my IBF just yet. I'm gonna try to make sure that I fuck around, and if I get the IBF at 154, that's gonna seal the deal with the Terrence Crawford fight, because Terrence Crawford gonna want to be undisputed at that time. So that's gonna seal the deal. But before we send Boots up there, Boots gonna get that WBO belt one way or the other, and that's through Teofimo Lopez. I'm being honest with you. Brian Norman Jr. is not going to sit there. He ain't gonna win Teofimo Lopez fight, man. I seen what Teofimo Lopez doing. Teofimo Lopez just started training with Canelo Alvarez and Ed Reynoso. Much as I talk shit about Canelo Alvarez and Ed Reynoso, they have a Mexican fan base following. And think about it. If they adopt Teofimo Lopez, you know what I'm saying, as they next guy in the welterweight division, Teofimo Lopez is going to be the cash cow of the welterweight division. That means Teofimo Lopez going to start calling the shots. And the same shit and the same offers and all shit with Brian Norman Jr. This shit ain't gonna happen like that. Y'all both top rank fighters. Bob gonna make that fight happen, and guess what? Your boy is gonna get his ass whooped, and that's gonna you know what I'm saying, that's gonna kind of fuck y'all up on cashing out. I'm seeing it. If Boots lose, Boots gonna lose to Terrence. Brian Norman lose, he gonna lose to Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta look at what Brian. Much I like Brian Norman Jr., Brian Norman come as a come up fighter. Teofimo Lopez is a counter puncher. Teofimo Lopez is not a come up fighter. He's a counter puncher. He's waiting on you the entire time. And he got sneaky ass right hand and a sneaky ass left hand. So basically, I seen Brian Norman Jr. get punched on. Teofimo Lopez gonna fuck around and fuck that boy up. And I like Brian Norman Jr. I like Brian Norman Sr. But when you guys do shit like that, that's gonna open up the door for somebody else to come in and take that belt of yours and then fuck around and renegotiate with Boots and renegotiate with Stanley Onis and everybody else. And guess what? Teofimo Lopez is not gonna have to. Is not gonna have the same trouble. Canelo have a relationship with Al Heyman and PBC. Canelo gonna fuck around and persuade Al Heyman to go ahead and send some of his fighters to top rank and what's called. There's gonna be a joint promotion again, and then next thing you know, Stanley Onis gonna lose to Teofimo, and those are either Mario Boyd gonna lose to Devin Haney. And the fucked up thing is everybody that came up from 135 gonna run 147. And you know what? And that's how Boots gonna make his bones. And when he fight those guys, because those guys are more popular than he is, and that's gonna be just a cherry on the goddamn Christmas tree. And without Brian Norman Jr., like I said, it's your boy Tommy getting off.